Hello, everyone. It is my great pleasure to have you with us today, Jonathan Alexander. Jonathan is a Chancellor Professor of English, Informatics, Education, and Gender and Sexuality Studies here at the University of California, Irvine. And as his Wikipedia page tells us, his scholarly and creative work is situated at the intersections of digital culture, sexuality, and composition studies. You also get to know him a little bit better because you see that he was born and studied and raised in Louisiana. And today I believe he's going to demo a recipe for us, which is probably the Louisiana national dish, namely a chicken sausage and okra gumbo. But the other interesting thing is that he's going to do that with his mom, Sophie, I believe. And this is just perfect because tomorrow is going to be Mother's Day. So I'm super excited and happy to have Jonathan Alexander and his mother, Sophie, with us today. Jonathan, take it your way.
Thank you, Annalisa. It's really good to be here. We appreciate you zooming in to our home so that we can share with you a recipe that I grew up with. That my mother has been cooking for most of her life, and certainly that's something which seems like real comfort food to me. So, Mother, I'm trying to think, when did you start cooking gumbo?
When I came here to California.
Oh, when you came here to California? No, I remember eating gumbo in the New Orleans area with you a long time ago. Yeah,
probably 30 years ago.
30 years.
But we didn't make it a lot because our little family didn't really eat it a lot.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. What I remember
growing up, we had gumbo.
You had all the time. Yeah. But I remember you would make it sometimes, or your sisters would make it and drop it off, and then we would eat it. So, yeah. It was the first time I ever had okra, which is a very popular vegetable. Really, you love okra.
I love okra.
Yeah.
And Mac loves okra.
Yeah.
I never tried it, so I'm curious to see it, and tell us more about that as you use it for your dish.
This is okra. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a different okra than what I grew up with. We always had the long okra.
So this is a little shorter here. This is probably from California.
Yeah.
But you know, it has seeds inside and kind of a very, very moist flesh. And it really does sort of break down a bit when we cook it. So let me actually tell you a little bit about what we've been doing. When I was growing up, it was not uncommon at all for Mother to start cooking really early in the morning. You would put the red beans and rice on very, very early in the morning. If you made a sauce of any kind, you would do that. Yeah, very, very early. And so we actually started cooking at 10 o'clock, an hour before we started Zooming with you. And we've done several things to prepare because we're going to set this to slow cook for most of the days, so for a good 6 hours. So we started by, well, I should guess Mother started by chopping stuff. And one of the basic things that the Trinity, this goes into a lot of Cajun cooking, and they call it the Holy Trinity. It's chopped onion, chopped bell pepper, and chopped celery. And this is a very, very typical base for a lot of different kinds of Cajun cooking. So we did that. Mother's going to chop the okra in a little bit. She's already chopped some sausage, which is great. We actually can get andouille sausage at times. I don't know that we've been able to find it since the pandemic started, but there are places in the area where you can get actual andouille sausage. Mother has just now finished searing the chicken legs. So we only sear those for maybe about 10 minutes or so, 5 minutes on each side. She had put them in a little bit of salt, pepper, and cayenne as well, just to give it a little bit of kick. Now we're going to move those into the crock pot. So she's got those going. And really, I learned a lot about slow cooking from Mother. Actually, I think that's pretty common for a lot of Cajun cooking. Just let it cook all day long. The juices really simmer.
Because a lot of people work, so they just put it in the pot, let it go all day.
Oh, interesting. So I had always thought that,
Yes.
that was because of the cooking food, but it's really interesting to think that that's actually probably something that people did as working people. That way they would have their meals ready for them in the evening when they got home. I love it. So
that's perfect and fantastic. So tell us a little bit more about the mixed origin of this dish and the cultural influences.
The interesting thing about a lot of Cajun food is that it emerges out of an intersection of a lot of different cultural influences in South Louisiana. Notably, of course, the French influence, so there are a lot of sauces, heavy sauces, but also a very profound Spanish influence. We could remember that Louisiana was both a French colony at different times and a Spanish colony as well. And so there are definitely Spanish influences. The introduction of tomatoes often marks a really important Spanish element to the cuisine. But there's also a lot of Caribbean flavors as well, and the real mix of Caribbean flavors. The various peppers and things of that nature often come from a Caribbean influence. And it's a rich melange of food that really represents the incredible mix of cultures in that area. Rice is a staple for all of it. We're not going to make rice this morning. A little bit later in the day, when we're ready to eat the gumbo, we'll make a few cups of rice, and gumbo is traditionally served over rice. And I actually grew up mostly eating rice. I had to leave Louisiana to learn that most other people in the country ate potatoes. It was their primary carb. I mean, I had French fries, but I really didn't.
Yes.
They ate more rice than I still prefer rice to potatoes. So.
Yes, I understand and share your preference. Although, I grew up with pasta and then, but, rice is also part of Italian cuisine, particularly in the north. And my husband, who comes from the north of Italy, is a wonderful rice cook. So it makes perfect risotto. Maybe we'll show that sometime during this series. So now that you have put the chicken on a side, we are continuing with what, Jonathan?
So Mother's, she just heated up the sausage. She's putting it in the slow cooker now. So now here is the most important part. We're going to make the roux.
Ah, that is French for sure by origin. Yes, I always make my roux for bechamel.
Yes, this is a really, really important part. And roux sometimes scares people a little bit. They're a little scared of doing it. I actually don't think it's scary at all. One of the things I would recommend if people are interested in doing in making their own roux is Paul Prudhomme, who's a very famous Louisiana chef, has this is a wonderful old cookbook called Paul Prudhomme's Louisiana Kitchen. And in it, he really talks at length about the different kinds of roux, and there are many different kinds of roux depending on how dark you want it. So that actually is a really, really good resource. But for me, this is always the most fun part. Get it going. And Mother, as you can tell, she's got it going right here in the same pot that she had browned the chicken in. And
right.
And so she just put in probably that's what
3 tablespoons.
3 tablespoons of flour. Unfortunately, we had some flour on hand. I know it's a little difficult to get right now, but really, really important. And she's just going to continue to stir that. And notice how she's chipping away at the bottom at the little scraps in the pan from the chicken, and just mixing that all in together. It's important with the roux, you just got to keep stirring at it so that the flour doesn't burn. Yeah, we're just really toasting the flour. We can also put some butter in that as well.
Mm-hmm. Butter's in it.
And Mother, how much butter did you put in?
About 1/3 stick.
Yeah, and so that's basically what the roux is. It's butter and flour toasted like this, mixed. And the sad thing about Zoom is you can't smell it, which is unfortunate. So you can put a little more flour in, keep it going. And this is really it's an amazing thickener, and it also puts in a lot of flavor. And I think you're right, Elise. It's a real French thing. It's this thickness, this flavor, the thick sauciness of it is really, really good. And especially with all of those pan drippings, which already have salt, pepper, a little bit of cayenne pepper as well, some of the chicken flavor, sausage flavor. It's going to be good.
It's going to be very rich because you are mixing it with the juices of the meat. Yeah, and everything else. It's great.
So we're going to get that going, and then we're going to put the Holy Trinity, our chopped bell pepper, onion, and celery into it. And just start cooking those up a little bit. Put those in.
Also about the roux for the gumbo, since the gumbo is more liquid, you have to be careful how much flour you add to the roux.
Don't want it to be
you
too thick.
You don't want it to be too thick.
Right.
Yeah.
So it has to be a quite loose one and liquid. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, obviously changing the quantity of flour, we can make it thicker or less thick. Then, with bechamel, obviously you want a thicker one, but I can see that one is more liquid.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's
right now I'm just working on getting a color.
Yeah, we're trying to clean it up a little bit, and they can get really dark depending upon how much you wanna cook them. Obviously, she keeps stirring it so that it doesn't burn. Probably get it a little bit. I like them golden, a little bit golden colored. This one's still a little on the yellow side, so we'll let it cook a little bit more and get some golden stuff. So.
It looks great. I wish I could be there to smell it and even to taste it, because I have to confess that I keep tasting my, the dishes as I prepare them.
I'm sure. This is one of the reasons why I love slow cooking too, because inevitably during the day, once we put this on, we will probably won't eat it till like 6 or 7 at night. If I leave the house and then come back, you just get this amazing aroma. And just you realize something's been cooking, something good has been cooking. So
it's starting to darken.
Yeah, see, it is a little bit darker now, which is nice. It looks great, Mother.
Yeah.
It's funny because while I remember eating, especially chicken and okra gumbo growing up, I think Mother's probably right. We really didn't start making a lot more gumbo until you moved here about 3 years ago. Because I loved eating it.
So I could warm up. I was freezing when I first came here.
I know. Mother moved here from the Gulf Coast, and she found our California paradise a little chilly.
Well, today a friend of mine who's also an academic that moved from Southern California to Connecticut told me that it was snowing. It's appalling. It shouldn't be snowing in May.
Yes, I heard. Yes. Apparently it does snow like that. All right. So here we go, putting the Trinity into the roux.
It's gotten darker.
Look at that. You see how darker it is?
Thicker.
A little bit darker, a little bit thicker. It's beautiful, Mother.
Wow.
This all is great. I love it. It's interesting. I put an onion in everything I cook. I love cooking.
Well, with social distancing at this point, we have no issue with that.
I have no reason. Onion and garlic. Oh, Mother, garlic. Do you want to use some garlic?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that.
Now you need smell-o-vision.
Yeah, we need smell-o-vision. I'm going to run and get some garlic. And so we're gonna cheat a little bit on the garlic. So we get the jarred garlic already chopped up for us.
Yes, yes.
All right, how much do you want, Mother?
That's plenty.
Oh yeah, like a big heaping tablespoon of that. Yeah. Oh, I forgot.
What?
the jalapeno pepper. Did you put that in there too?
There.
Ah, we totally forgot. So our Trinity has an extra guest. We've added a jalapeno. So one jalapeno. Generally, we take out a few of the seeds, so it doesn't, because all of the spiciness in the jalapeno is in the seeds.
Absolutely.
So we take a little bit of some of the seeds out, so it's not blisteringly hot. But I think I really learned to love jalapenos when I lived in Colorado. My first academic appointment was in southern Colorado, and I loved the peppers. Yeah. All of the peppers of the Southwest. So I put a lot of jalapeno in nearly everything. And so it's a nice little addition to the gumbo as well.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to help. Let's see. You got it? All right. Boom. There it is. Excellent.
Wow.
So we just dumped that right in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're also going to cover that.
Well, we're going to add the broth.
Yeah, we're going to cover that in about 4 cups of broth.
You can use chicken or vegetable. Or water even.
Yeah.
Because we will probably be adding a little water to it.
Yeah, we'll monitor it all day. And if it starts to thicken up too much, we'll just add a little extra water to it.
But we still have to add the okra, so water will be necessary.
Yeah. So the okra we're not going to put in right away because it's a fairly delicate vegetable. And if we put it in right now and cooked it for 6 hours, it would just disintegrate. Mm-hmm. And so what we want is for the okra to be a little soft, but still have some texture to it.
Set your time.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and just set the time. So, like I said, we usually do 6 to 7 hours.
I did 4 to start because I did the chicken a good bit.
You did. That is true. Yeah. So, but I think this is the kind of thing that it can't hurt for it to cook, for a full 6 to 7 hours on low. If you wanted a faster version of this, you could just do it on the stovetop in a Dutch oven and maybe let it simmer for an hour on low. Just do the exact same thing. Brown the chicken, make the roux, put the Trinity and anything else you want into the roux, reinsert the chicken, sausage, put in the okra, and let it sit in a Dutch oven for about an hour or so on low. Would be probably just as good. It would be perfectly fine if you wanted something a little quicker. I mean, I think we prefer the slow cook because it's just gonna allow everything to really meld together in a wonderful way. So
thank you so much. And then after 6 or 7 hours of slow cooking, then you serve it with rice. What kind of rice are you using? And how do you prepare it?
Yeah, we like jasmine rice.
Jasmine rice.
Yeah, which is a wonderful rice to use. Here is, I showed you one okra. This is our bowl of okra.
Wow.
This is like a good pound or so of okra. And we'll cut all of those up into small little pieces about like this size. Mm-hmm. And I would say, Mother, probably about 2 hours before, maybe 3, 2.
Are you cooking it on low?
Yeah, I've got it on low.
Low. We could even do it in a couple of hours. Yeah.
So let the but just not right away. So if we're going to cook them for a long time, maybe about halfway through the cooking, we'll put the okra in, and then that way it'll soften up but still maintain some texture.
So there's a wonderful mix of flavors and aromas, and I'm really sorry that I can't be there to smell it and then taste it.
We'll have you over when the pandemic is hopefully receding, and you can taste some of the gumbo.
Thank you. I can't wait. So thank you so much for being with us, Jonathan. Thank you, Sophie. If we can show Sophie. Thank you for cooking with us. And I hope everyone will enjoy this wonderful gumbo. Goodbye and enjoy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.